Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining me today. I'm excited to have this conversation with you guys. Welcome in. I'm going to be talking about how my life has been lifing. And it's been a lot going on, but I'm going to have you guys come on in, tell me where you're joining from. I would love to know. My name is Bola Shokumbi. I'm the founder and CEO of Clever Girl Finance. We're an online financial education platform, and we're all about empowering women to achieve their financial goals and live life on their own terms. So welcome, everyone. Hello, Agnieszka. Hello, Joyce. So I've had all these unplanned expenses that just really threw me off this past week. So as you all know, Clever Girl Finance launched. The book Clever Girl Millionaire, the book launched this past week. Super exciting. So excited to have this book out in the world. I have been doing a lot of book promotion and work around this book. And if you haven't already picked up a copy, you can pick up a copy of this book wherever books are sold. You can find it on our website. It's available as an ebook, an audiobook, and a physical book. So that was happening. I have been incredibly busy with that. But then I feel like when God is doing something big and things are happening, then the devil wants to show himself and just kind of be like, oh, guess what? Guess who's still here? So anyway, I end up having some car issues. And hello, Twyla. Hello, Kendra from South Africa. Hello, Jaleesa. Welcome. Thank you for being here. So I ended up having car issues, and I needed to get new tires on my car, which I knew I needed to do. So I'd already budgeted for that. But then along the way, I had some reservoir tank in my car that broke, and then something else broke. I needed to do all these repairs. So I got a quote for these repairs for my car, and they came out to $2,800. So this was planned. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't shocked. I knew I needed to make this payment. And then I go to the dealership, drop off my car at the service center, and then I get a loaner car. And this is where everything starts to go wrong. When I get this loaner car, I bring it home, I park it in my garage. You know, when you get a loaner car and you leave your car at the service center, there's lots of times where you forget so many things in your car. So I'm very mindful of not wanting to forget things like my garage door opener, my Easy Pass, my umbrella in my car. So I took all these things out and I put them in the loaner car. And so I parked the loaner car in my garage and I'm getting ready to leave, and I hit the garage button to open the garage door. And I dropped the garage because I don't clip it into my usual space because I don't want to forget it in the loaner car. So I dropped the garage opener on the chair. It hits my bag. And as I'm reversing the loaner car, the garage starts closing. And because it's not my car, I'm trying to figure out how to stop the reverse, how to get back into drive, how to do all these things. And in those seconds, my car backs into my garage. It breaks the garage and it dents the loaner car. And I'm like, I just knew this was going to happen because when I was getting the loaner car, the guy was inspecting and going around and talking about this is a brand new car. It only has 600 miles on it. And I'm like, what is this? Why is he so, stressed about this car? And I was like, oh, he's so particular that I know something's going to happen. I should have rejected that thought immediately. But anyway, I back into the garage. I damage a car. I break my garage. Okay. So mind you, I already have a $2,800 expense that I have planned for. Now, the loaner car expense, the repair of the loaner car is $1,500. The repair of my garage is $1,550. So basically, I have now rolled myself into $6,000 in a matter of one day, because of this incident that happened. And all I was trying to do was get my new tires and get this stuff fixed in my car. So I had a few options, right? I could have just been depressed and gone into my bed and been like, woe is me, this sucks, life sucks, everything sucks. But I had an emergency savings, which is something I talk about all the time on this channel. I talk about saving for emergencies, and my emergency savings handled it. I had the sinking fund to repair the car, to get the tires, to get the things fixed. And I had an emergency fund to cover the additional $3,000 in expenses. So I fixed the garage right away. I paid the amount to fix the loaner car. And in that moment, as opposed to me feeling dejected and getting into that pity party mindset, I had to remind myself, this is exactly why I saved that emergency savings. I have some notes I'm going to share with you guys as I was reflecting on this incident that happened last week. And the reminder was like, the reason why I saved this money, the reason why I had this emergency fund is to handle life, not avoid life. And me getting into my bed and feeling dejected and uh having the pity party about having to spend $6,000 on like car expenses, mistake expenses, was just not necessary, because I'm like, there's a reason why I have this fund, because life happens, life is unexpected, and this is one of those unexpected moments. And so I just dealt with it and I kept it moving. I didn't panic. And because I had the emergency fund, I didn't have to leverage a credit card. I didn't spiral. And I was like, okay, I had the money set aside, I used it. And that in itself, having that money is the win. And so, the biggest lessons from that situation were basically number one, um, the goal isn't to avoid the problems or have pity parties. The goal is to be prepared for them ahead of time, right? So one of the things we've been doing in this community since last year has been being intentional about being a community that saves money. And for those of you who have joined our weekly calls, you know that, or bi-weekly calls, whenever I get around to doing these lives, because I've been so busy, you know that I often talk about this savings challenge. And I want us to be a community that saves money. So I started with a savings binder last April, with my friend Nikki. I saved $3,800. And I started a new binder. I saved $3,800 from April to November, saving spare change. So this is money I would have otherwise spent on random things, eating out, stuff with my kids. And so when that binder got completed, I started a new one. And so this current binder has $3,000 in it right now. Again, this is spare change, money that I'm not spending on random stuff. This is not my emergency savings. And I have another $100 to put in it today. So it's going to have $3,100 in it. And this situation that happened with me last week was just a reminder that we need to save money. We need to be a community that saves money, so that when life happens, because life will happen. I did not expect to break my garage. I did not expect to damage a loaner car. Yes, I expected to replace my tires and fix my car, but I didn't expect, the extra double the cost. It's important that we have money put in the bank. So this is my spare change binder. You can set whatever goal you want to have for a binder, for a digital bank account, for a envelope, but the goal is to put money aside. Set an intention to start putting money aside. If you don't have emergency savings, this is the time to start saving for emergencies. If you are trying to just save, you're not sure what, there's nothing wrong with having money in the bank. There's more money is always a good thing to have. Just save. Even if you have all your goals rolling along, everything is in check, still save money. And this week, with book promotion, I'm like, why did this have to happen in the book promotion week? It could have happened any other week, right? Any other time. And what's crazy is that I've never dented a loaner car before. I've been driving for so many years. I get loaner cars all the time when I fix my car. I've never broken my garage door. I'm not accident prone. It was just honestly the devil, if I'm going to say so. And so one of the questions I asked in the live chat earlier on was, have you had an unexpected expense recently? And did you have to dip into your savings? Or are you still building your savings? And again, there's nothing wrong with where you are, depending on how you answer this question. But the key is that depending on what expense you've had, depending on what you've learned, depending on if you had to dip into your savings or if you're still building your savings, the key now is to set the intention that you are going to keep saving, right? For me, despite what happened, I still put, so the last time we checked in last week, this binder had $2,600 in it. I still put $500 into this binder despite what happened, because I had emergency savings to cover it, right? Even with everything going up, I was still able to show up and save my spare change, right? And by doing that, it just helps you keep going towards your financial goals. Sometimes things like this will happen. And I could have said to myself, okay, Bola, you had to spend $6,000 this week on randomness, an extra $3,000 on an expense that came out of a mistake. Why do you want to keep saving? Why do you want to put any money into this binder? Why do you want to bother doing that? But I was like, you know what? I have emergency savings to cover this. So I'm going to keep saving my money, because I'm not going to let the situation that happened derail me. So my next question to you guys is, how are you doing with your savings binders and your savings in general? For those of you who have been participating in this challenge, if you've had to pause, that's fine. But are you ready to restart your savings again this week? And let me just go check out the comments to see what folks are sharing. So share in the comments if you've been saving. How are you doing with your savings? If you've had to restart your savings or dip into your savings, how is that going? But the key, based on my experience and all of this, is just really setting the intention to save money, to save money, to save money. I want this to be a community that saves, so that when life happens, you have money. So that when an investment opportunity comes around, a business opportunity comes around, it just because you want to have this experience, opportunity comes around, you have the money in the bank. And not just that, you have a sense of peace of mind and a sense of calm, and you can just keep moving forward. Like I said, if this was a situation where I had to go swipe a credit card to pay that $6,000, I'd have been so sad. I have $6,000 in debt. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I would have derailed my whole day. I may have canceled this live, but I didn't do that. So Agnieszka, you said that one of your expenses, unexpected expenses, sleepaway camp fee for your boys. You looked up registration and you filled out the forms, but now the money is due. So are you going to take this out of your savings? Do you have a fund plan for it? And how do you plan to replenish? Let me see who else is here. Hello, Kendra. Agnieszka, yes, a real wow. It is a real wow. Hello, Casey from Uganda. Hello, Faithfully Leah. Hello, Ola. Hello, Shonda. How are you? Yes, it was not fun. My expense was not fun. Hello, Mary. Agnieszka, you shared that you have a digital binder. That is great. Mama and Money, you said life is gonna happen, so you have to be prepared. Yes, that is the truth. Shonda, you talked about having an Ally bank account and a goal to save $1,000. That is a good goal. Joyce, you're building up your emergency fund. Well done. Shonda, you mentioned that your phone died in January, so you had to pull from a long-term savings challenge to pay for it. So you didn't want to, but it's a blessing that you had. Yes, the fact that you have the money there and you don't have to step into debt to pay for the inconvenience is it makes the situation an inconvenience, not a dire life situation. And that is a blessing. So you said it. And then Kathy, you said you're saving money via deferred comp for your 2026 retirement from your New York State government job. You also want to have cash emergency savings that's not in any retirement savings plan set aside, so that when you need that money, it's in that high yield savings account that you can tap from as soon as you need it. So let's keep going. So if you, like I mentioned, if you have a dollar amount you want to share regarding how you're doing with your savings, please share. You can purchase this binder on Amazon. The link will be in the description below. You can use an album from the dollar store. You can use envelopes. You can open up a dedicated savings account. Don't get caught up in the place or the thing you're saving. I use the binder because I thought it would be a fun challenge to do a cash savings binder and just see the money. Save however works for you, but the key is to save. So share your savings goals or savings amount or savings progress in the chat. I would love to know and congratulate you and motivate you. So as I was reflecting on this situation, one of the things I wanted to do around just Clever Girl Millionaire being out was reflect on the action steps in the back of this book. And this is perfect timing because the first action steps section in this book in chapter 1 focuses on mindset. And the way I navigated this situation really helped me. My mindset and the work I've been doing on my mindset was what really allowed me to shift the way I navigated the situation. I did it very quickly. I paid for everything. I moved on. There was not a moment of woe is me. Oh my God, my money, my money. It was annoying. It was irritating. I complained to my husband. I told a couple people what happened to me and I just kept it moving and I moved on and I got it over and done with. And so mindset, the way we approach situations in our life, positive, negative, all have a big impact. And so in chapter 1 of Clever Girl Millionaire, I talk about sowing the seeds for your millionaire mindset. And I want to go through a few of those mindset action questions. They're on page 17. You see them here. They say this section says take action. I want to go through a few of those mindset action steps. just to empower you as you navigate whatever season you are with your finances. So I'm going to put them on screen and just give you some context, and you can definitely pick up this book and follow along. Do the exercises on your own. I'm going to try to walk through the action steps for each chapter, just as a way to empower you and motivate you as you work on achieving your financial goals and building wealth and saving money. Kathy, you said, is there cash in that binder? Yes, I have $3,100 in this binder. I started this binder again. This is my second one in November of last year. So I am on slot number 30, and I have an extra $100 to put into slot number 31. This binder, my goal is to make this a $10,000 binder. So I've been saving $100 slots. $100 per slot. And again, this is money that I'm not spending on randomness, money that I save from my grocery budget, money that I don't spend eating out or buying stuff for my kids. I've been intentional about going to the ATM. I used to tell myself that I wasn't a cash person, and that was just me deciding that for myself. But I realized that I could be a cash person because I could go to the ATM if I was focused and intentional about a goal, and I could take that money and put it in a binder. So I've proved myself wrong here. And that's just basically what I'm working on right now. I'm going to, before I step into the action steps in chapter 1, I'm going to answer a few more questions. Jaleesa, I see a question that you had here. You asked about Ally Bank. I think as long as it's a reputable bank and good customer reviews, open it, set up your savings buckets, and start to save. Don't overwhelm yourself with too many buckets. Don't spread yourself too thin, because when you can't see the progress with your savings, then you might start to feel discouraged. I definitely have 2 major goals, no more than 3, I would say, that you're saving for intentionally. And once you reach them, you can readjust. And one of them should be bulking up or replenishing your emergency savings. That's just what I would say. Okay, so let's get into Shonda Jaleesa says, thank you. Let me get into these mindset action steps. So the first check-in, right? And I mentioned, just to go back to what I said, is that our mindsets are everything, because situations are always going to test you. There's always going to be a situation in your life that is going to test you. So it's important that we have things that we do that keep our mindset in check. Not just testing, but when it comes to doing something big like building wealth, saving money, investing, getting out of debt, you need to have your mindset in check. So one of the most important things that helped me with this situation, and just helped me in general getting to this point of being able to call myself a Clever Girl Millionaire, was that, number 1, I checked my beliefs, what I believed to be true and not true about what I could accomplish with money. That was the first thing that I did. I had to check my beliefs. And for many of us, it's just easy and normal for us to think that money disappears easily. There's never going to be enough money. I cannot be wealthy. Nobody in my family has done. It's easy to lean into the negative beliefs that are not helpful to us. But instead, we can be intentional and remind ourselves that when life happens, I can handle this. I can do this. I can get past this. I can navigate this slow season, this difficult season. I know it's only temporary. So when we're thinking those negative thoughts, those thoughts that turn into things that we believe about ourselves, how are you countering them, right? And what is your default thought when something unexpected happens to you financially? Because when that thing happens, you want to address the way you think about things. You want to challenge those beliefs about the way you think about things so that you can move on from that thing. You can create that plan to get past that thing, and you can start to work your plan. Now, granted, I solved my situation this past week very quickly. In a matter of hours, I was over and done with it. Some situations in life are going to take weeks, months, years. How are you going to adjust your mindset to navigate through them so you can get past them? Most life situations that happen, especially when it comes to money, are oftentimes temporary. But if we allow ourselves to fall into that pity party, that woe is me, oh, it's going to take me 2 years to pay off my debt, that is forever, then you find yourself delaying your progress or not making progress. 2 years to pay off debt feels like a long time, but it's really only 24 months, and it goes by very quickly. So when you think about your beliefs now, what is your default? when something unexpected happens to you financially? I want you to think about that. You can write this down in your notebook. You can reflect on it later. But again, this is a question that I'm asking in this book amongst many other questions, but it's something I want you to start thinking through. Now, the second part of this, the second action step that I lean into is reframing scarcity thinking. We're all guilty of this. We don't have enough. I've lost $6,000. I don't make enough. We have all these, I can't afford that. We have all these things that we lean into from a scarcity perspective. Sometimes it's our programming, the way we've been raised, the way we, the things we have heard, the things we have seen. But why does that have to be true for us? Why does that have to be a belief for us, right? So for me, I could have said, oh, I have $6,000 less money in my account. That's a scarcity mindset. But I flipped it and I told myself, you know what? I was prepared for this. My emergency fund served its purpose and I was still able to put $500 in my binder. Now that's a big mindset shift. So I want you to ask yourself, do you see unexpected expenses in your life as a failure or part of the process? And the reason why I say part of the process is because it is inevitable. We are going to have those unexpected expenses. We're going to have things that are going to cost us money that we did not plan to spend. So looking at them as failures or as part of the process really defines where your head is going to be at. If you think of it as a failure, then you're in this space that I will never have enough. I've lost. But if you think about it as a part of the process, this is only getting me somewhere. So like when I think about myself and what happened last week and the $6,000, what did I learn from this? I learned that now in that particular car, I know how to reverse. I learned that next time, Bola, don't just drop your garage opener down and let it hit and trigger itself. Put it down carefully. It seems very minor, but I know it's going to serve me in the future because this is not going to be my last loaner car, right? It's not the last time I'm going to repair my car. And next time I know better that when I press the garage door button, because I don't want to clip it onto the what's it called? The thing you bring down. So I don't forget it in the car. I'm just going to set it down gently as opposed to just throw it down. I learned something. And I also learned a reminder, having money in the bank is a good thing because it minimizes stress. And now my goal is just to replenish that. So as you reflect on these questions, I want you to think about it and think about how you can change that belief and repurpose it into something positive, because life is guaranteed to happen. And what we can control is how we move past it. So I guess that you said, yes, money disappears easily is a scarcity mindset. That is. So the next thing, Shonda, you said you feel this is a part of adulting, and after the first unexpected emergency, it gets a little easier. Yes, this is adulting. This is adulting. And in addition to this $6,000 expense, I mean, I planned for half of it. We got my son some new sneakers. He was adamant about these sneakers. My husband bought him these sneakers. They were very expensive. And he sent me a message today saying, oh, Mom, my sneaker broke at school. And I'm like, this is the first time you're wearing it. Where is my receipt? I don't know where the receipt is because I didn't pay for it. And my husband's probably throwing away the receipt, but it's like, you learn adulting. Next time, Bola, be in the store and don't let your husband spend this amount of money on expensive sneakers for this boy, because he goes to the playground and he sits down and takes off his shoes, and what they do is they start to eat them because that's the only reason why that shoe would break. These kids have to literally sit on the playground and start eating their shoes. But I digress. But yes, it's so important for us to adjust our mindsets and our beliefs about how we're spending money, why we're spending money, even if it's unexpected, even if it's unintentional. My son is going to need a new pair of shoes for school. I didn't plan to buy him a new pair of shoes for school this week, but it is what it is. I'm not going to cry over it. I'm going to think about how can I make more money? How can I increase my savings rate? How can I get more? It's okay to want more money. Okay, so now the next thing you're going to learn in this chapter 1 is to stay grounded in your identity. And so what does that mean? For me, before this incident happened with my car, I already had my financial goals. I already knew what I wanted to accomplish. I know what I want to save this year. I know what I want to pursue in my business. That is the identity I created around my finances for this season. Now, I'm not going to let a minor inconvenience change everything and switch me into panic mode and cause me to cancel all of my goals because one thing life has happened when I know life is guaranteed to happen. It's important for you to stay aligned with who you want to become, to where you're going, to that financial destination, regardless of what is happening. Because, like I said, and I've said multiple times on this live, these things are guaranteed to happen, right? So you have to be grounded in your identity, be grounded in your goals, and start to tell yourself to shift away from that negative belief, that scarcity mindset, that I am someone who manages money well, even when things go wrong. And the validation for me being somebody who manages money well, even when things go wrong, is that I had put that money aside for emergencies. I had the money in the bank. And so that makes me someone who manages money well, despite all the mistakes I've made with money. And I talk about many mistakes I've made with money in this book. So I can manage my money well. And that is part of my identity. And that's the identity I'm owning for myself and I'm claiming for myself. So it's important for you to stay grounded in your identity. It is so important. Laura, you said that you keep your savings in an emergency fund and you have retirement accounts. You just had a large vet bill yesterday for my pet that was unexpected, but I could cover it because since you had saved. Yes, that is so good. That's the whole point. Oftentimes people will get stressed out about using their emergency savings. They stress out about it. Oh my God, I had to use that money. But remind yourself, your emergency savings is there to serve that purpose, to cover life happening, to cover emergencies, so that you don't have to cash out your retirement savings, so you don't have to cash out your mortgage savings, so you don't have to tap into money for other bills or get into credit card debt or add more to your credit card debt or take out a personal loan because you had that money. Your emergency fund is there to serve a purpose. Let it serve its purpose. Okay, so let's keep moving. So another thing I did is, and it kind of ties into everything I've said, is that I kept my intentions intact, right? So I don't have this to put on the screen. Let me see. Do I have it here? So you guys can take notes if you want, or if you're watching this as a replay. But I kept my intentions intact, which basically means that, okay, I got set back by $6,000 this past week, but my goals for the year are not changing. Maybe I may need to adjust something here and there to make up for the additional $3,000 I had to spend. But my goals are still my goals. My vision is still my vision. Like in the grand scheme of my financial vision, $6,000 is a blip, is a dot, right? So keep your intentions intact. Yes, life is going to happen, but don't change your goals. You may need to adjust your timeline. You may need to shift things around, but one situation does not erase your big vision. Remember that. Now, the other thing that's very important is to acknowledge your mindset wins. And what does this mean? It means that, okay, this situation happened, I handled it, and I'm going to celebrate the fact that, number one, I didn't panic. Number two, I had savings to use gratitude. Number three, I was able to save money. I was consistent. I stayed consistent despite what happened, right? This is what growth is. This is what building wealth is. This is what pursuing financial success is. In this book, and it's so funny that this just ties back to everything that has led me to building wealth, a situation like this, because that is everything I talk about in the book. I talk about the mistakes I made. I've made some very big money mistakes, but despite that, because I kept my beliefs in check, because I stayed grounded in my identity, because I reframed that scarcity thinking, because I kept my goals and intentions intact, and because I acknowledged where I was winning, despite my crazy mistakes, intentional, unintentional, I've still been able to do well with my money. And that is growth. People assume that when you're building wealth, when you are achieving your financial goals, it's because everything is happening perfectly for you. And that is not true. It is not a straight path. It is ups and downs and rocks and bumps and bruises. And so give yourself grace. Don't say, oh, I had this big expense. I made this mistake. This cannot happen for me. That is a lie your mind is trying to tell you. That is a lie the devil is trying to tell you. It is not true. You can make mistakes. You can recover from them. And every mistake has a lesson. I talked about the simple lessons I learned from my mistake that happened this past week, so that I now know what to do in my garage to avoid not only denting another loaner car, but my own car. It sounds minimal. It sounds trivial, but that mistake costs money. And now I know how to work around it. Hello, classy, demure, beautiful. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you've enjoyed watching these videos. Welcome. TA, you said you're on a 5-day hold on all non-essential purchases. It has worked for you. On the 6th day, you often find the need has vanished. Yes. So as you're thinking about how to save, what can you do to encourage yourself to keep saving more money? I love this idea of a 5-day hold. And by the 6th day, you likely won't want it anymore. That's a great tip. Shonda, I saw that you mentioned something earlier. You talked about your savings binder. You said you do $40 a week and you do savings challenges. And when they are done, you have a binder with different categories and you put money in each category. That's a great way to save money. So again, for those of you who are just joining in, or as a reminder, I want us to be a community that saves money. Not just saves money, but also is adjusting our beliefs about what we think we are or we are not. You can be successful with your money despite mistakes. You will learn from your mistakes. You will grow. That is the nature of life. Unexpected expenses, life experiences, etc. They are inevitable. The key is not to pursue perfection. The key is to navigate around life when life is happening so you can still keep working towards your goal. When life is happening to you, it should not change your vision. The fact that you are healthy, the fact that you can watch this, the fact that you can find ways to make money, to get a job, to stay employed, to bring in income, to run your business, to take care of your kids. The fact that you can be so resourceful in all these things, knowing that you have your health. Listen, don't let a random expense or life happening randomly get you down and keep you stuck and discourage you from moving forward. So the last thing I wanted to say is I just wanted to encourage you. I wanted to motivate you. I want us to have a moment, and I want to remind you that life is always going to throw random nonsense at you. That is life. There's always going to be unexpected expenses. There are always going to be moments where you feel tested. This is life. Unless you put yourself in a bubble, and even that bubble will burst and you will fall to the ground and get bruised, and that's going to be your test. The key is, how are you going to respond? How are you going to respond? Right? So now that I've talked about my experience and I've gone through those few exercises, there's a whole, I guess, how many? There's 7 full exercises I talk about in chapter 1 around adjusting your beliefs and building your millionaire mindsets. So definitely pick up this book and check it out. I'm going to create a topic around doing the exercises on chapter 2 because I just kind of want us to go through this together, and I think it'll be very empowering. Whether or not you have the book, the live is still going to be beneficial to you, but I just want you to remember that you have what it takes to be successful with your money. And now that I've said everything I've said, I've talked about my experience, I want you to share in the comments, what is one thing you're proud of in how you have handled your money recently? So what are you proud of? What's one thing you're proud of? And number 2, based on everything I discussed, what is one mindset shift you want to make right now? What are you proud of, and what's a mindset shift that you want to make? Share in the comments. I want to know. I want to share with other people. Let's encourage each other. For me, it's to just stay focused on my goals and don't let life get me down. That's what I learned, because this was a big week for me. I had a book come out. I was excited. I've been doing promo. I've been celebrating. I've been, so much is going on. Like, I'm so glad I didn't let something so random kill my joy this week. That's one thing I'm proud of. I'm proud of the fact that this was just an inconvenience. It was a blip and I got past it. And there are many different ways this could have been handled, right? Because $6,000 is not something that you just want to spend just because you have nothing else to do with your money. I know what I can do with $6,000 right now. If they gave me back my money, like, Ball, your tires are free. The garage repair is free. The loaner car expense is free. Here is your $6,000 back. I know exactly what I could do with that money. I can go invest. I can put more money in my binder. I can go shopping. I can take a vacation. There's so many things I can do with my $6,000. Okay. So share, what are you proud of, and what is a mindset you need to shift? Augustina, you said you're proud of clearing your credit card debts. Well done. Congratulations. That is great. Some funds, you said you already saved $10,000 this year. That is incredible. That is incredible. This case said it's part of the process. Yes, life happening is part of the process. Thank you for joining from South Africa. Sarah, thank you for your comment. Thank you for your comment on the book. I appreciate it. So what are you proud of? And what mindset shift do you need to make? What is something that you believe about money that you just want to shift away from that you know is not true? That is not true. Share in the comments. While I'm waiting for you to share in the comments, I'm actually going to do a giveaway of this book. So Shonda, you got your book in the mail. I know Tanya got hers. I want to give away one more book. I'm going to scroll through the comments randomly. Someone in the US or Canada, we will ship this out to you as soon as possible. So I'm just going to pick somebody randomly. Augustina, you said you're proud because you're saving and building your emergency fund. Maya, you said you're proud because you were able to pay for a dental procedure last month with your emergency fund and not a credit card, and you're already rebuilding that fund. Well done. Well done. Listen, we all have something that we can be proud of. And those wins I talked about celebrating, it doesn't have to be something profound or crazy or groundbreaking. Even the small things can shift us, shift our mood, shift our emotion, help us hang on to the beliefs that we believe, the beliefs that are positive, that should be true for us. Some funds, you said, a mindset shift you want to make is that savings is boring. Savings is boring, but it is worth it. Like you said, it is boring. Investing is boring. Savings is boring, because the honest truth about money is that money is just a tool, an accessory that helps us build the life we desire. If our money is in check, when our finances are in check, we don't spend all our time focused on dollars and cents. We're living life. We're having experiences. We're doing our job. We're spending time with our family, our partners, our children. We're pursuing our life goals. But when our money is not in check, that is when it becomes a stressor and a burden in our life. And we put all our energy on this thing. So your saving should be boring. Your investing should be boring. Let it just turn along and grow for you. Let your money work for you. So yes, I love that mindset shift. Classy, Demure, beautiful. You said since you started watching my videos, you've been educating your husband. I love that, because you guys had a horrible financial mindset. So let's reframe that. You had a horrible financial mindset, but now you are shifting. You have shifted to a positive mindset and you are making strides with your finances. So that horrible mindset is in the past, because you said we had. It's no longer relevant. So let's shift away from that. Stop thinking about that. And now let's focus on the positive, right? Latita, you said you have an emergency fund for your car repair. I love that. I love the idea of having that sinking fund, because we know we're going to have to repair our car, right? My car is going to have to go back for service soon. I am prepared for that. Joyce, you said you're proud of refusing to use your credit card for the past 2 months. Well done. Nom, you said working on your emergency fund has been a challenge. Listen, sometimes life and our finances are a challenge, but the thing is, you have got this challenge. You can do this. Twyla, you said saving and forget it added up. Now I can pay down my mortgage. Congratulations. That is so good. So yes, that is what I wanted to come on here and share with you, how my life has been lifing, how I navigated my mindset, how I stood firm in my beliefs. So as you leave this, I want you to check in on or reset your savings goals this week, right? Hold on. Check in or reset your savings this week, and then reset your mindset, not your goals. Because life is happening doesn't mean your goals change. Your goals can stay the same. You may just need to readjust around it. So check your mindsets, reset that mindset. Any negative thoughts you're thinking, reset it. And then check in on or reset your savings plans for this week. So again, I want us to save money. The next time I come on here, which should be next week, have an update ready of how much money you have saved, how much money you plan to save, what your savings goal is. If you don't have any money, you can open up your account. It costs you nothing. You can find an envelope or a container in your house that will cost you nothing, where you want to start putting cash if you want to save cash. This binder cost me $7. This has been one of the best $7 I've ever spent in my life. You don't have to spend $7. You can get an album at the dollar store. You can make something in your house. Don't let the binder, the account, be the reason why you don't say, oh, I don't have an account. Oh, I don't have a binder. Listen, find something in your house to put money in. Open up the online account. It costs you nothing. So that's what I want you to do. So now I'm going to do, Teresa, you said, I'm proud of having money to pay my bills. I am not proud of not having money to live through the remaining months. So what can you do to adjust that? How can you readjust your budget? How can you start getting creative to earn more money? How can you look for money leaks in your budget that you can plug? Let's start thinking about ways that you can shift from this other half of your statement where you said you're not proud. Hi, 13 Wolfies. Okay, so I'm just randomly scrolling to pick my giveaway winner. My comments are here. And I am going to pick Twyla as the winner of the giveaway. So Twyla, here is what you need to do to get your book sent to you. Send an email to hello@clevergirlfinance.com. Include a screenshot of you logged into YouTube showing your username. And obviously you're here on this live because you have been commenting, but we would love to get this book over to you as soon as possible. So definitely follow those instructions. Congratulations, Twyla. So I will be back next week to have another conversation with you. Next week, we're going to talk about the lie of timing, the lie of being behind and a destination you're supposed to be on. I'm going to talk about that kind of stuff. And we're going to do some more exercises, talk through some more exercises. And yes, so thank you for being here. If you haven't already picked up a copy of Clever Girl Millionaire, please do. I would appreciate it. And by the way, if you're trying to get on top of saving money consistently, you're trying to find motivation to save, definitely join one of our savings challenges on our course platform at clevergirlfinance.com/courses. We have several savings challenges: the 26-week savings challenge, the $5 savings challenge, the meal planning savings challenge, a bunch of them that can help you stay motivated to keep saving money. So our community is buzzing. People are coming in to share the updates, and it's just really cool to see. So if you need some support, check out one of our savings challenges or take one of our courses. Again, our audience, our community there, some of you are on there, is so cool. And it is this is our new course platform, and it's such an awesome platform. I love it. I'm so glad that we built this out and we moved away from Teachable. But yes, I'd love to see you there. And again, if you haven't already pick up a copy of Clever Girl Millionaire, this book is available wherever books are sold. I'm really proud of this book. I'm really excited to be able to share what I have built and what I have learned with you. It is not perfection. It is real life. I'm not sugarcoating anything. This book is not focused on outcomes. It really leans into my messy middle, the mistakes I made, the nonsense that happened. Life was happening, and just how I was navigating it, I still was able to come to this place. So definitely check this out. And if you have this book and you have loved it or you're enjoying it so far, please help me with this algorithm. Go onto the platform you purchased it, whether it's Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, whatever Target, and please leave a review. I truly appreciate it. I appreciate all of your support. I will talk to you all next week. Thank you for being here. And then the Sunday videos will be out as usual. Twyla, send us your information so we can get this book to you. And congratulations to you again. And thank you guys so much for being here and for spending time with me. Yes, congrats, Twyla. I will see you all next week. God bless you guys. Thank you. Bye.